You know, folks, I've been doing this a long time, and I don't always get it right. I ain't perfect, and I ain't no authority on nothing. And this isn't necessarily a new model, but when Cherokee announced it a couple seasons ago, I looked at the floor plan on paper and I went, nothing special there. I'm so glad I get to travel around and see these things because another one of our stores with Bish's brought this floor plan in. I got the chance to see it today, and how stupid was I? If you've got a half ton, you're looking for nice space, but you just don't want something that's 90 feet long, this is pretty awesome. Stay tuned. So welcome everybody to Bish's RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and this is the 234DC Cherokee. What does that stand for? I'm gonna guess the DC stands for dang Cherokee, because this is a good model, and actually, looking at it just now, I think I figured out what this is. So the very best-selling Catalina couples camper out there is their 243 RBS. This is Cherokee looking at Catalina dead in the eye and saying, I think I could do it better. Now, I actually coincidentally just recorded a 243 Catalina not long before I'm recording this. I will leave you a link to that in the video description, and I want you to watch that and tell me after this who did it better and why. I'd be very curious to know what you think there. The RV's only about 5,500 pounds, and it's a solid less than 30 feet. I think this is a very legitimately good half-ton towable layout right here, which can be sometimes very hard to find with a super slide and a private bedroom, no Murphy bed. I will always point out the ups and the downs like it is a Camp Queen bed. There's some things like that that may be deal breakers or points of concern for some folks. I want to make sure we help find those for you before you go spending your time calling somebody or sharing your social security number and finding out, oh, I don't want to finance that camper. It ain't the right one. The RV gives us What it does is it gives us big living space in the shortest length possible with a non-Murphy bed private bedroom. It's a really sometimes tricky thing to find in today's market, under 30 feet and under like 7,000 pounds, you know? And it's not an ultralight, it's just a conventional camper, but this is something that the inclusion of the camp kitchen, that right there took this one up a little bit of a notch for me.
No, turn the camera around. Nobody wants to see your stupid peanut-shaped face. It's not an accident, I think, that Cherokee has become, like... here's the thing. Depending on how you cook the books, I could tell you and show you and be correct in, like, 6 different ways about how 10 different brands are the #1. The Cherokee group as a whole, you could say, is the #1 selling brand out there in the North American RV market. It's kind of tricky because, like I said, it all depends on how you cook the books. But long story short, it's not an accident that overall this group has done so well. They have really leveraged their insanely high volume to be able to bring features to their RVs that normally at this size, class, and budget range, you just always can't. Now, I'm going to show you some good stuff along with some hiccup stuff. Like, for instance, there is no window on the right side of that slide. Also, with the way the sun is pouring in on this, it's kind of fighting with my camera a little bit. So I suppose this is as good a time as any to demonstrate the zebra shades.
Actually, it's pronounced zebra, like Deborah, okay?
Little Mr. Mackey for you. But they're, the way these... They're a type of roller blind, first of all, but they've got these slotted panels where you can line them up opposite of one another to block the sun out or have privacy, or you can line them together like I've done on the left and, still be able to have some privacy because the clear panels are opaque. They'll actually, block people from really looking into the RV and still give you some light. Now, that window does not open for airflow. I just want to be, because with that zebra shade half pulled over, it looks a little funky monkey, as it were. What you're looking at here, you've got just a traditional jackknife kind of sleeper sofa, and you've got a U-dinette, a big full true U-dinette. I tell you what, we will fold those down and look at them in sleeper mode before this video's over, because that's one of the things this RV does very well. It has some pretty good guest sleeper capacity. You've, of course, got the blue light, accent light system up here. I don't know what it is, but every time you turn that on, you talk like this, like you're in some weird rock music video. I haven't figured it out. I don't know. We've got a 6.5 foot tall ceiling, so it's conventional interior height. That's going to mean that my head needs to be in the bubble in the shower. We'll see that demonstrated in a little bit. Above the kitchen there, you've got that skylight to bring some extra light in, although it does have a privacy shade. Not a zebra shade, but a normal privacy shade. And back here, you see that central air unit coming into play. That's really important because not everybody in this sizing class will give you central air in a stick and tin camper. There's some of the more budget variety things that will have just a dump air where it doesn't push air through each of the rooms. That means that your bathroom and your bedroom are going to heat up and you're going to be sweating to the oldies. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I want warm smells coming out of that bathroom space. No, thank you. Cherokee's also done something else to make sure that doesn't happen. The kitchen here, actually, let's go ahead and crack that open. There's a couple things they do really well here. If I get down a little bit, you see where a lot of manufacturers will put power outlets under overhead cabinets. But if you look on the left side of the screen, you notice Cherokee doesn't have to do that. That's actually one of the benefits of a stick and tin camper. They can more easily run wiring in the walls. But instead of outlets under the cabinets, they gave us plenty of lighting. So when you're doing your kitchen prep work, you can actually see what you're doing over here. Black skirted stainless sink, always looking very cool and smexy. You notice there's like a metallic thingamajigger down there. That is the outside camp kitchen. We'll get a better look at that. Cherokee gives us 2 big drawers instead of 2 or 3 small ones, so that a spatula is not like, boy, wouldn't it be a shame if somebody were to block the drawers from opening? Well, it's a lot harder to have that happen here. The sink cover, I just set on the oven door. I'm not trying to present that as countertop space. It's just an easy way to get out of the way and highlight the fact that you've got a one-piece sink cover. The backsplash for the stove, though, that cutting board, I like to use as a side splash. I demonstrate that in a lot of my Cherokee videos. Anybody with a Cherokee camper ever try that? Has it worked for you? I'd be kind of curious. 12-volt DC compressor fridge right there. There is a gas electric 2-way fridge option, by the way, and Cherokee does include at least a basic level of factory solar. And actually, one of the things that you might have noticed in our quick flyby floor plan and a flash footage was that this has the expanded juice pack on it to give you a little bit more dry camp time. I'm not going to tell you, however, that is going to be indefinite boondock time with that 12-volt fridge. If that is your interest and purpose, you may want to make sure you invest in something a little bit more robust, and frankly, even a small portable generator is a good idea. And as promised, looking at her here in sleeper mode, those are your little armrest cushions. They don't have to act like, I don't know, doggy headboards or whatever. I don't know, I thought it looked cool putting them there like that. I don't know. That's going to be a big dog or a little kid sleeper. This is going to be your bigger guest sleeper of the two, that almost 7 foot, almost 4 foot wide, true U dinette with full storage all the way under and around. Now, if that bench wall right there were removable, if you could just slot it and slide it up in place, this could be one giant full super sleeper. I'd love to see Cherokee offer something like that, which is very close to the Wildwood Versa Lounge, which frankly, I feel strongly if this floor plan had the Salem Wildwood Versa Lounge, I actually think this floor plan would be even better still. But they don't, so it's not, so never mind. It's just a personal thing that I looked at. Giving you a little space here, doing my hashtag toilet selfie champion photos. I was actually very pleasantly surprised with the room around that. And when I was first walking up to this bathroom, I thought for a second, you know, they could really do with something on that wall. Then I got a little further in here and okay, at least some towel hooks. That's something. It's better than nothing. Now, remember what I was saying? You don't want hot smells coming out of this bathroom here? That big vent fan is going to make sure that you keep that stuff under control. The radius shower here in a smaller size RV like this, I think it's the best they could come up with. Oops, sorry, let me pan back up here real quick. Again, 6.5 foot tall camper. I'm 6'3", my head has to be in the bubble, just to give you a frame of reference right there. You might notice a couple of my footprints in here, but you won't notice those when you take the RV home because we don't charge you to provide you with a cleaned RV from Bish's RV. Counter space in the bathroom is admittedly limited, but at least you have that big sink. And something else Cherokee's done for a long time, they give us a very large medicine cabinet here, and they got rid of the motion lighting as the only thing that controls the ceiling lights. Now, you actually just walk in and you flick the switch like normal. You know, crazy, right? Makes sense. Now, coming out of the bathroom here, I've never felt any RV was perfect for everybody. I don't know that anything could be. And I'll say this RV has it has two significant Achilles heels, and we're about to look at those. First, if you care about the position of the entertainment center, I don't think you should buy this camper. I do not think you're going to like it. I think you should give us a call and say, what else you got, kids? Because this is not an amazing floor plan for excellent entertainment center viewing. Although, if this had that Salem Wildwood Versa Lounge, at least in lounge mode, you could have yourself a little bit better angle on that. But if you're the type of person that says, I don't go camping to watch TV, but if it's a rainy day, I want some space inside where we're not going to go stir crazy, I think you're going to like this camper very, very much. Now, these central, we're going to say island entertainment centers, they've kind of fallen out of favor in the RV industry, probably for the neck crank factor on them, you know, the neck wrecker entertainment centers. But they do something I really, really like. They make it a perfect position to put a shoe garage right by the entry door, which is very handy. And you're going to have nice warm shoes with that electric space heat and fireplace right there. Interestingly, this is actually the best place I can stand to show you the household and USB outlets on both sides of the bed. We've got closing doors for privacy into the bedroom instead of sliding pocket doors, which I think is an interesting choice. Would you prefer the pocket doors, or do you like the hard doors like we're looking at right here? The bedroom is otherwise fully equipped, but really packed together. And I do want to make note that this is a Camp Queen bed. I also don't feel this is really going to be easily converted to a true queen. Maybe. There is some space down there at the base of the bed, but if you go putting a longer 80-inch bed in there, it is going to, first of all, you're going to have to really wrestle it to get it in there, and you are going to have to fight to squish that thing. It might be able to fit, though. That's one of those things, if you're curious about that, give our team a call. We can hop out with a tape measure. We can double check that for you. In the meantime, let's look at her in road mode. Kind of like the Black Eyed Peas. I got a feeling the bathroom's going to be tricky to get to with the slide closed. Let's find out. Old Will.I.Am would be pretty darn proud, I think. I nailed that one. With the slide closed here, you can navigate through nicely. I like where they put the refrigerator on this one, because with the slide closed, you can always get to it. And I had a feeling, again, that if you left the bathroom door open before you close the slide, then you could still get to it. However, if you're going to do that, you need to do something to secure the door, because the factory didn't plan on you doing that. You can get away with it. I've seen people use door stops and bungee cords and all kinds of different things. It can be done. It can be done safely and properly, but you want to make sure. Now, here's another really interesting note on this one. This is a rack and pinion slide, unlike a Grey Wolf. So one of the benefits that gives this that the Grey Wolf does not have is that, first of all, the slide is about a whole foot deeper versus a Grey Wolf. Secondly, this slide out can be partially deployed like that, and it won't hurt it. So if you do forget that bathroom door is shut and you want to partially open the slide to get to it, you can do that. But recommendation, floor flush slides like this that can be partially deployed are not built, structured, and engineered to be used and occupied when only half open like this. Sorry, bumped the button. Don't know what I did. Anyway, what I was saying is you want to make sure the slide is all the way open if you're going to actually occupy and use it. I felt like there was something else I was going to say. I can't remember. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Now, I got a cool opportunity where this is parked. It gives you just a cool visual representation of the fact that you can get this in Standard Series or Black Label Edition. The Black Label Edition is going to add a lot of awesome eye candy and curb appeal. There's a bunch of little gadgets and gizmos on the inside. It doesn't really change the features and function of the RV too awful much. It adds a little cost, it adds some weight, but boy does it look good. Anyway, just to give you an idea, check the link in the video description. You can see if we have one in stock in standard series or black label and which one works better for you. We are slide awning prepped. Again, I love those maximized windows. I do feel personally it is a miss not having a forward-facing window on that slide right there, especially with the lack of door side windows. It's at least nice to be able to see up the front of your layout. I don't know, front, back, any direction. Underbelly of this, by the way, is not fully enclosed, but the tanks, the holding tanks themselves are enclosed. Weirdly, Arctic Fox does something very similar. They don't fully enclose the belly, just the holding tank area, but I guess it's good enough. I don't know. The power tongue jack on the front, doing the heavy lifting for us there. The baggage door here, you might have noticed the other side doesn't have a baggage door because that's where Cherokee has standardized their water heater and their hot-cold camp shower. So what they've done here is they've given us the dogleg left storage compartment where you actually go in under the bed and then it dogleg lifts under the bed in case you have shifting cargo or something like that. Now, power stabilizer jacks are an available option whether it's standard series or black label. That's the conventional variety right there. The stable steps are going to be standard on these as well. With a Cherokee, you're getting the triple step because it sits up a little higher, whereas with a Grey Wolf, you get a double step because it's down a little bit lower. The Cherokee and Grey Wolf, interestingly, the two campers are basically the exact same thing. The biggest major difference between them is that a Cherokee has a floor flush slide, which requires a taller frame, which is why it sits up a little bit higher, whereas the Grey Wolf has an above-the-floor Schwintek slide, which allows the whole RV to ride a little bit closer to the ground. They don't make exactly the same floor plans, typically, from Cherokee to Grey Wolf, but they do, the build and the equipment is effectively identical. You see the outside TV hookups there and the speakers down at the level of your chesticles instead of way up high. We are right next to the highway. I've got a semi doing a Jake brake activity behind me, which doesn't bother me, just I hope it's not overwhelming the camera. Power awning there with LED lighting. You see the LCI Insight Bluetooth backup camera standard on these. Also, a third tail light. I'll be surprised in the future if something like that doesn't become standard, and I think Cherokee's looking to get a little bit ahead of the curve with that safety item there. The spare tire is an optional piece of equipment, interestingly, although the cargo rack is not. The cargo rack is rated for about 200 pounds before the spare tire is applied, so keep that in mind. Now, let's talk construction real quick. So one of the first questions, is the roof walkable? Because I don't see a ladder. And the answer is yes, absolutely. It has the same roof structure as almost any other stick and tin camper out there. It's got a 3/8 decking, 16-inch on center studs on the roof and walls, 12-inch on center average studs in the floor with 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor decking. But we talked about a ladder. Next question, is it ladder capable at least? And the answer is unfortunately no. In the beginning of the 22 camping season, Cherokee, across their entire company, removed not only their ladders, but even their ladder prep. I respectfully feel that's a mistake. I'd be curious to know your input on that. That is something I would at least like them to reinstate ladder prep. Even if they don't offer a ladder, at least let me as a dealer or you as a customer have the choice of adding one if we want to, you know? And as I emerge from the shadows here, once again, I'd like to ask you folks, check that link in the video description. Well, I've got a couple there. One, you will get to see a link for pricing and availability. Two, you'll also get to see where I left a link for the 243 Catalina. Coachman's kind of version of a floor plan like this. Again, I would really love to hear from you. Who did it better and why do you say that? Any other feedback you're willing to offer? Where they nailed it, where they failed it, things like that, let me know. And if this is your first time joining us, hit that subscribe button. And whether it's, common class stick and tin campers up through luxury fifth wheels and expanded motorhomes and toy hauler coverage, we've got all kinds of stuff for you here at Bish's RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and best wishes from Bish's, everyone. I am glad I did this.